Hello, Sagittarius rising, and welcome to your September astrology and tarot horoscope. I'm Lisa Merrifield with Trails Edge Astrology. If you're new here, I'm so glad you're here. I seek to give grounded, practical astrological advice to help people live their best life. So, before we get started, if you haven't listened to the September overview, you might go back and do that. It's only 13 minutes. I kept it really short. Um, and I outlined the 6 transits that I think are going to be the most significant this month. We're just going to talk about 2 of those here and where they show up for you as a Sag rising. So you might want to hop back. I'll link that video so that you can find it easily. And I also did a journal page to go with it with the dates and the transit and some space for you to make some notes about how you think it might show up for you, what resonates. And then also, you might just make notes of how it does show up. Astrology is cyclical, so the same patterns come around again and again and again, and it's really interesting to see how we work through them, how our consciousness evolves to to really step into whatever energy we're working into or bringing into at that time, or whatever we're learning. So if you want that, it's linked from that September video, and I'll also put a link down in the description below if you want to grab that. All right. If anything I say here today resonates with you, I would greatly appreciate it if you would like this video, if you're willing to subscribe so that you know when I post new things. That would be fabulous. That helps me know you're out there and interested, and it helps the algorithm know you're out there and interested. And finally, just any comments. I'm always super curious to see how the energy shows up for people, and would very much like to find that out about you. All right, let's talk about the 2 transits that I think are the most long lasting for September and definitely worth note in our lives. So the first one is Pluto going back into Capricorn. So, as a reminder, Pluto was in Capricorn from about 2008, 2009 solidly through the beginning of 2023. And during that time, Pluto was transforming something about your second house as a Sagittarius rising. So, something about money, your resources, how you think about money, how you think about resources, how you spend your time, treasures, and talents, um, your values, your sense of self worth. All of those things were really up for a revision. And how strongly this hit you very much depends on what planets you have in Capricorn in your second house. Also, what planets you have in Aries, Cancer, or Libra. So, if you have planets in any of those places, this energy probably had a significant and lasting impact, somehow related to your values and sense of self worth, either literally in terms of your money or figuratively in terms of how you spend your time. Um, so, so that's significant. It was there for a long time. Pluto has been dancing back and forth between um, Capricorn and Aquarius since the beginning of 2023. It's been in Aquarius since January. So to go back into Capricorn is a shift. And this is the last time it will be in Capricorn for over 200 years. So we will never see Pluto in Capricorn again. Um, and basically what the invitation is to start or to finish the work that you started. So Pluto will be in Capricorn from September 1st to September 19th. I'm sorry, September 1st to November 19th. And during that time, you will be invited to finish up any work that you were doing in that part of your life. And you don't have to get it perfect. You don't have to, it's not that there's a test at the end and you can fail. You can't. It's whatever soul's evolution you're ready to take, whatever steps you're ready to take and able to take. Sometimes when we see the last version, the last time a planet is in a sign like this, um, sometimes we get a little test, like something that we have learned through this process, some change you have made in all of the years that Pluto was in your second house. Um, you might get an opportunity um, to like practice. Like a situation will come up that you would have handled one way in past times, and now you're going to handle a different way because you have evolved your thinking, because you've grown, because you're more authentically who you are. So, so all those things are up for revision while Pluto is in Capricorn. Um, and yeah, see what happens. Lean in. Pluto is very much about us working with it. If you are willing to do the work, Pluto will give you rewards. Like you get a benefit from it. Um, yeah, Pluto. Yeah, so do your work. Do whatever. If there's something you know you need to finish around finances or resources or your values, now's the time to finish up that piece. Uh, after after November 20th, Pluto will move into Aquarius for almost 20 years. So we are really going to be shifting out of this space of resources, second house, and you're going to be shifting into the space of third house kinds of work. And we'll talk more about this later, but that third house work is really going to be about your local environment, the bubble that you live in the town, the people you interact with regularly. It can be how you communicate your message. It can be how, like, the ritual habits that you have to, to ground yourself or to bring yourself um, into presence of mind. So, and sometimes the third house is related to siblings. So it could be something to do with your biological siblings, but it could also have something to do with your found siblings, those friends who feel like siblings. So some kind of transformation around there is happening. You've gotten the precursor to it. You've got the foreshadowing, but then after November, we'll go into it full on. All right. The second transit I wanted to mention for you is the eclipse. So we're entering eclipse season again, and we have eclipses in Virgo and Pisces. Um, and that eclipse is on September 17th. So eclipses bring change. So eclipses are illuminating. Eclipses are kind of karmic course corrections. So we don't always have a lot of ability to control what's going to happen. But you know, they they often indicate some shift. Doesn't always happen on the day of. Eclipse energy is long and wide, and so there might just be something seated in that on the September 17th in that eclipse. So for you as a Sag rising, that eclipse is happening in your fourth house and your 10th house. So that is the house of your very, very most private life and your very, very most public life. So work-life balance will probably be an issue that you will be grappling with while eclipses are in Virgo and Pisces. Um, it may be something about your family that's illuminating, or your home that gets illuminated, or maybe your emotional foundations. So it can be really literal, like, you move, or it can be more figurative in that, just the what feels secure to you might shift or change. And so the eclipse will bring some illumination around that kind of that home life energy, with a balance to your public life. So public-private life is somehow going to be illuminated during this eclipse. How much it gets illuminated depends on what planets you have in Pisces and Virgo. Now, this is a precursor to a couple years where we're going to see eclipses in Pisces and Virgo, but in it's the first glimpse of that. The October eclipse is going to move back into Aries and Libra, which is where the eclipses have been previously. So the eclipses for the last couple years have been showing up for you in your houses of creativity. So your individual creativity and your creativity working in groups. So that's where it's been showing up for the past couple years. We're going to have this glimpse in September 17th, of what Virgo and Pisces eclipses are going to look like. And then we'll slide back into Libra and Aries for a bit before we move for good into the Virgo and Pisces. So I'm curious what kind of career stuff comes up for you, what family and home stuff comes up for you. And yeah, I encourage you um, to go with the adventure. It's a karmic reset. It's the universe getting you lined up to do the work that you are so ready to do. All right. That is the astrology. Again, if any of this resonates, if you would like, subscribe, comment, I would sure appreciate it. Um, We're going to go on to looking at how the tarot refines this message and gives you a little more information. We are going to read from the Universal Celtic Tarot, and then I'm going to pull an oracle card from the Rose Oracle deck. All right, I'm going to pause, shuffle, and I'll be right back. All right, Sagittarius rising, we are back. So the opportunity in, that's not focusing, the opportunity in September, sorry, that's not focusing, not sure why, is the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands is all about there being no speed bumps. Full steam ahead, you're going. So, so generally it's seen as a really positive card. Like whatever you're trying to achieve, you're getting traction, you're getting moving, like progress is happening. You are going forward. So I hope that's true for you. So Eight of Wands is your card for the month, for your opportunity this month. So if there's, something, and I'm thinking particularly with that eclipse energy, like eclipse energy can be fast. So there just might be something around that work-life balance, um, around that public-private life that is inviting you to take a step forward or to get something that you've been hoping to achieve. So that is your opportunity this month. Your challenge this month, however, is the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups is about illusion, delusion. Like there are decisions to be made, but you can't really fully see everything. Um, which it doesn't always have to be bad. It just is something to be aware of. Like there's something about decision making that's going to be challenging, and you might be making decisions that where you don't have all the information. It's when you're making Eight of Wands decisions, they're fast, and so there might be something that where you just don't have all of the information, and you have to go forward anyway. So that is probably the challenge of the month. Um, your to-do list, what do you need to do with that, is the Seven of Wands. And I think it's really interesting. You've got two wands, and wands are about initiation and passion and intuition and all those kinds of things. And you got two sevens, and sevens are kind of roadblock cards. So the Seven of Wands is about defending yourself, maintaining your boundaries. Um, you know, it can be like almost a setback card. So whereas the Eight of Wands is full steam ahead, the Seven of Wands is that there's something blocking your path, and so you need to defend yourself. You need to take the high ground and really just protect your space. So something about protecting your space. This is interesting with the full moon in your fourth house of family, roots. Like you might need to protect your core values, protect your core. um, maybe it's that you're not giving too much to work or to an external source, that you're really protecting your internal space. But overall, I think it looks good. Like you have some difficult choices to make, but you've got the energy. The energy's on your side to move forward quickly. But yeah, don't be afraid to draw a line and say, nope, we're not. This is what we're doing. This is where I am. This is these are my standards. These are my values. This is where I will not compromise. And then I actually swapped out cards. I didn't like that rose deck. um, I grabbed the Earth Magic deck, which I do like. And for you, as a Sag rising, I got the Cave or Sanctuary. And this card is all about the need for us to have spaces that are quiet so that we can turn inward and that we can listen. Um, and it reminds me of that eclipse in your fourth house, like spaces that are safe and where you can be you and where you can really hear yourself think. That's so important, to carve out those spaces and carve out that time. And it's really hard to do when we have all of these external pressures and all of this, like do, be productive, get the things done. But there's something Spirit wants to share with you about carving out that space, really recognizing the places where you feel whole, and where you're really resonating with, where you're really able to hear your intuition, to um, really understand your values and understand what you need to feel whole, and then you can bring that into the world. All right, Sag Rising, I hope this was helpful. Give me a comment. Let me know how it's showing up in your life. Like this video, subscribe if you will. That helps me, helps the algorithm. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon.